Welcome in. It is Brad with College SportsCast, and it has been one wild week in Wildcat country. We've got a lot to cover and a lot of good sports. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to College SportsCast. College SportsCast presents Wildcat Weekly.
What's up, guys? It's Brad with College SportsCast. I've got John Hammonds on here with me tonight. What's up, Hammonds?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Been a busy few weeks, or actually a month, it seems like, here at College SportsCast. Doing a lot of media coverage and covering the Cats.
Yeah, I mean, you was there this past weekend. I was there for the Florida and Valpo game. Been really busy.
All right, before we get started, I do want to extend a courtesy out to you guys, man. Join us, College Sportscast. We have a subscribers page. It's only 99 cents. I do think there is 2 spots left on our flash sale that runs through the 23rd that you can get it for half price for the first month. So that's just 49 cents. You do get your own into our chat and your own subscribers page when you do that. So I want to start out by saying that if you're with us on YouTube, we appreciate you as well. You can like and subscribe. You can also subscribe on Facebook. That's what that was just a second ago. But we appreciate you guys being with us. If you're on the Real Fresh channel with us, we appreciate you as well. And we appreciate Howie Fresh and the Real Fresh channel. And Stadium Rant being a part of this and everyone. So just want to put that out there. John, it seems like we've had games to cover maybe 10 of the last 12, 14 nights. Like it's been a lot between all the sports.
The Louisville game, you had the Tennessee Tech game this past weekend, Florida last weekend. You had the Valpo game. You had the that's Friday night. Loyola's Friday night. You got Michigan State tomorrow night. You got the girls playing Purdue tomorrow night. You're going to that one. So there's a lot going on.
There is. All right, man. We're going to get started here. If you are with us at the top left corner of the screen, there is a QR code. That is for Home Field Apparel. If you are with us and want to check out some really new, cool retro gear for Kentucky or 180 other teams, it is on there. You can support your team with some really cool gear. It's Christmas time. They're running some specials and doing some things here at Christmas, so check them out at homefieldapparel.com. Use our code CSCAST or scan that code at the top of the screen. I will keep that up as we run through everything here for the show tonight. All right, John, we are going to get started with football. I think that is what we need to kind of start with, to be honest with you. Over the weekend, Kentucky got their 3rd straight win in a row in football. And a few weeks ago, that seemed nearly impossible to even say.
Yeah, I mean, they was 4-4 as a starter with Bowley, 2-4 in SEC play. He's showing that he's a long-term solution, I think, for Kentucky. He looked confident, decisive. He had a 30-yard touchdown run, Brad, in the first half, showed his athletic ability. That's a part of his game that sometimes goes overlooked sometimes. I think, he had a touchdown through the air, went 200 yards passing. You had Seth McGowan play really well as a senior. Listen, if Seth McGowan does not get any extra year of eligibility. You look back at the season that he's had, the opportunity that he's been, going through so many changes with what happened before he got to Kentucky. He went through 3 different programs. There was a time where I felt like Seth was not even get to play football again. And he's got the opportunity to do that. And he showed out Saturday, 3 rushing touchdowns. His presence alone gives guys like, I think, Cutter Boley a reliable run game. Tucky is going to have to replace him in the portal, most likely, but he's going to be a very missed piece for next year's squad.
For sure. The running back, here's the thing, John, with Kentucky football. And I know a few weeks ago, everybody was screaming, you got to move on, you got to move on. But now you're setting 3 weeks in a row where you have a win, and it's on the road at Auburn, over Florida. I mean, yes, they're not in the great position, but you sure don't want to lose to the sucky teams. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be able to beat them. And Kentucky has handed them a pretty good beating. For the most part, the Auburn game was close, but the rest of them weren't. So
I'll say this real quick. The thing that most people don't see is the football program as a whole. Honestly, Brad, the part that does get overlooked sometimes, and Stoops mentioned this today, was the NIL. He brought it up again. Money to get some of these kids paid. I feel like in the last couple of years, that's what's hurt the Cats a little bit, is the NIL. And you're seeing with Bowie now in the mix, Kendrick Law, Seth McGowan, Cam Dooley, all these guys, Ty Bryant. There's talent there. And if you want to keep these players, you're going to have to give them money to be able to keep these guys, because the portal does not wait for nobody. They could jump in right now. You've got to continue and have, how you say this, continuality with what you have, and hold on to some of these guys, these young guys that are playing right now, because if you don't, somebody's going to snatch them up. And somebody will pay for these guys.
Well, I mean, let's move to Cutter Boley, man. I mean, Cutter Boley today was announced as the SEC Player of the Week and Freshman of the Week after this game. 2 big awards for Cutter Boley, getting some recognition nationally for his play and what he's been able to do, as a redshirt freshman starter who came in, in the 3rd game. He didn't even get to start the season as the starter. So he doesn't have that many starts under his belt, but he's improving a lot.
He is, Brad. I've said it since, what was it, the Georgia game? I felt like he's changed a lot of this offense. Boley is going to enter into this final 2 weeks, okay, with the opportunity to do something as a Kentucky kid, and that's get them to a bowl game that many people thought that they would not have an opportunity to do a month ago. Kendrick Law's playing good. He's transformed. I felt like early in the year they didn't really get him the ball consistently. There was a lot of offensive rhythm problems, but they have changed that dramatically. Against Tennessee Tech, I think Law had a really good performance, double-digit receptions. He had 100 receiving yards for the second time. I think the other was Tennessee. The way he has the ability to run, separate, his physicality, I think he changes the game, especially against these last 2 games against Louisville and Vanderbilt. You get an opportunity to see what he can do there. Boley, like you said, though, it's just hard to explain, Brad. He was throwing the fire early. He's faced adversity all season. We had the big road start at South Carolina when he struggled. Then he kept showing improvement. He showed improvement in the Georgia game, showed improvement. I feel like he really showed his ability against Texas. He's composed in the pocket.
And I thought even the Tennessee game, when Kentucky got down 28-7 in the second quarter, halfway through, I mean, last year's team would have just let go of the rope.
Yeah, I agree with you. What really stands out is the
Hunter
way he
Bowley
managed.
actually stood in there and got Kentucky back within 7 in that game at one time. And I thought we played pretty decent from that point on in that game.
We did. You gotta understand too, his ability to manage a game. He's improved his accuracy quite a bit, from last
And
year.
I like the offense is so much quicker with him at the helm.
Well, his
Have you
pocket
noticed?
presence is.
Have you noticed how much the offense is just quicker? They went up tempo some, but I'm talking about even after the snap, it's 1, 2, 3, and the ball's out most of the time. It's a quick decision.
Yeah, you've seen that in the Florida game. You had the quick movement when they right before halftime. You seen it in the Tennessee Tech game last week, right before halftime. To me, Bowley has put himself as the future of this program, the foundation of this program. And every game he plays is just a step forward. And I feel like this was one of his most complete games that he's played as a quarterback. Now, everybody's going to say, well, it was Tennessee Tech. Well, if you look at some of the throws that he made, the one to Hardaway Gilmore, he had the 30-yard touchdown run where the pocket broke down and he runned outside and he got to the end zone. Like, this kid in the pocket and his pocket presence gives Kentucky a stability that this team has lacked pretty much all season long, especially early in the year when he had the struggles at South Carolina. And if he had played in the Ole Miss game, I think Kentucky wins that game.
I mean, you're talking about that run. I mean, we got to talk about it a little bit, man. I mean, he goes down the left side of the sidelines, and there is a guy waiting, a defender just waiting for him at the 5. Mm-hmm. And Hunter Bowley absolutely lowered his shoulder and just ran over top of the guy. And the guy tried to hang on at the 3, and he carried him into the end zone along with another defender, and got that touchdown. And it was just like you could see. I was in the stadium. You could see how it fired up the team to have the quarterback do that.
Yeah, Ty Bryant and a bunch of them mentioned that. Seth McGowan, they mentioned that in the postgame. They was talking about how it just fires up the team, and Cutter's their guy. They know he can get it done, and he's got it done the last couple of weeks. And you're looking ahead, Brad. They play Vanderbilt next week, opportunity to kind of knock Vanderbilt out of the playoffs, which would be a really great opportunity for them. Then you go to Louisville, a chance to kind of put Louisville's season in a dent. I want to say this too, Brad, about the Tennessee Tech team.
Hey, Earl.
That defensive front that they had was really good. They led the FCS in tackles for loss. They was second against the run, and they was number 1 in run defense. And for Kentucky to do that against them says a lot, because in years past,
let's not forget they had won 15 games in a row.
They had
at FCS level.
They had.
I mean, these people that say, "Oh, you played a high school team," yeah, good luck with that. They had won 15 games in a row at the FCS level, which is a pretty good level of football, to be honest with you. Go check out San Diego State or South Dakota, North Dakota State, Montana. They play some pretty good football.
I want to say this. I know that Cam Dooley's dad might be watching, and I just want to say that Cam Dooley is having an absolute tear the last 3 weeks. The way he's came in with some of these guys injured, they played one of their most complete games of the year. They allowed 1 touchdown, Brad. They controlled the line of scrimmage. The front 7 was disruptive. They limited Tennessee Tech's rushing attack. Now, they had a few plays in the second half where they kind of made some plays. The secondary, I felt like, played good. They prevented a big play. You had Cam, like I said, Cam Dooley secured his first interception. He jumped a route. His development is a very promising sign for a defense that has improved each and every week. They had gap discipline in this game. They tackled well. If Kentucky's defense, I'll say this, Brad, if they can continue this little stretch where they play like this, the bowl eligibility is within reach. And I'm not going to say they're going to go in there and beat Vanderbilt, but had you had told me a month ago that this would be the same defense that we had against Georgia and South Carolina, I would have laughed in your face. Because it's a totally different unit than you saw in the first of the year. And now you kind of got the opportunity to go on the road and do some things. And Pavia is going to be tough.
Before we move on, I've got a clip here that I want to show. So this is a short clip of Cutter Boley talking about running over the guy to get into the end zone. So hang on just a second, John.
But I wasn't really thinking about that at the time. I was just playing. I need a slide for sure.
You did get in the end zone, though.
I did get in the end zone. I did. That makes it a lot better.
What was
I think he got a little bit from the coach on that one.
I thought it was pretty funny. He made all the reporters laugh. He said, "Yep, I did get in the end zone. Yep." So I do think that he caught a little bit of slack from the coach and stuff from it, to be honest with you.
I want to say this.
Right.
You was telling
Kendrick
me about
Law. I want to talk a little bit about Kendrick Law and his play. Kendrick Law had an absolute sensational day. He had 11 targets and 11 catches. And I asked him about it after the game. So I want to play this little clip.
Get Tommy down there when we got here on Saturday. It's a reflection of that.
11 targets, 11 catches today. You ever had a day like that in your career?
No, I have not had a day like that. So today was super exciting for me and, very motivational for me to keep going, and just constantly keep showing the world what I'm capable of. And I got more in my bag, too.
Coach do something about the physicality you bring to the table.
I got more in my bag. Did you hear him?
I did. I thought it was pretty cool. He said, "Yeah, I got more in my bag, too." So,
that's hard to believe with him playing in Alabama that he's not had a big, career day like that. But he was kind of –
it was a career day. It was his most catches and most yards.
I'll say this about Kendrick Law, Brad. He's a major weapon for this team. You only get him for a year. You look at the late season that he's kind of put on this surge. He's been reliable. He gives, Boley a number one target. I feel like he helps balance an offense that sometimes early in the year was very dependent on the run game with McGowan and Dante Dowdell. And now you kind of get Law in the mix. And the thing is, now with Law in the mix, it creates some dangerous opportunities for Kentucky to do some special things here down towards the stretch.
It does. I got to give a huge amount of credit. Kendrick Law, after the game, had a line of just young kids, fans, and outside in between the stadium and the players' facility. And he stood there in his uniform and cleats and signed stuff for kids for 20, 30 minutes. Before he went in for that interview right there for the press conference. So not only did he have a great day, but he seems like to be a spectacular person as well. So I had to put that in there. All right, bowl possibilities, John. 3 weeks ago, if I would have said bowl possibilities in Kentucky football, you would have thought I was crazy. Now, there's 2 games left. We're going to get to those specific 2 games next, but there's 2 games left. We're 5-5. Kentucky is 5-5 on the season, and there's a real shot here that this improving team could get to a bowl game.
Yeah, and I kind of want to bring that up with the Vanderbilt game coming up. You got Diego Pavia. I think he's completing 70% of his passes, Brad. He's thrown for over 2,000 yards, I think. He's only had 5 interceptions. He's a very, very big dual-threat quarterback. He's run the ball, I think, 117 times for 613 yards and 7 touchdowns. His game against Auburn might have been the best game he's played in a while.
He does fumble every once in a while.
He does. With their college football playoff aspirations hanging kind of on a thread, he delivered against Auburn. Now, they had the bye week last week. The Vandy defense has, I think, sacked the quarterback 23 times. I was looking at the numbers. But I will say this. Their pass defense is very poor. They're allowing 244 yards a game through the air, which ranks 106 out of 134 FBS teams.
Can this newfound offense and offensive coordinator and Cutter Boley and these wide receivers, can they do something with that?
And the thing that I say with this is you're going to have to keep your blocks. And I say that from the offensive line standpoint. Jagger Burton, Braun, all these guys, you're going to have to give Boley some time to find these receivers and find them open. And if you do, you got some chances, And you got Boley, he's developing, Brad. You look at it a couple of weeks ago. Mark Story made a article on this. He was talking about the DJ Lagway game, and he said that DJ Lagway was the number 1 rated quarterback in his class. Cutter Boley outdueled him in that game.
Yeah. Look, Cutter Boley is the future, and you got to do whatever you can do to keep him happy and in Lexington. He's a Lexington kid. He wants to be there, but at the same time, he wants to win and play for a good program. So,
but I will say on the Vanderbilt game, to kind of add to it, as of recently, though, the defense has kind of been non-existent. They gave up a lot of plays. And
do I think it's without reason? Do I think there is a possibility that Kentucky could win one or both of these games? I think it's possible.
You look at it last year, Brad. Pavia didn't really play that great. We had, I think, 15 of 18. He had 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, but a lot of it was Kentucky's own doing.
Louisville has looked beatable. They have been beaten, a couple of times.
Kentucky last year in the Vanderbilt game was they had 12 penalties. They killed themselves with penalties last year in the Vanderbilt game, which pretty much put a dent in their season. And that was pretty much after that game. Me and you talked about it. That was where it just kind of went downhill after that, after the Vanderbilt game. And this is an opportunity to kind of go down there, spoil the crowd, spoil their season, because they got Tennessee coming up, and I honestly don't know if the rivalry
there. 8-2. They've had a great year. If they can close out the season by beating Kentucky and Tennessee, they have a legit chance of getting to the college football playoff.
You want to know what's a crazy stat? I looked this up today. Kentucky has won its past 4 games against Vanderbilt in Nashville. Now, Vandy's won the last 2 in Lexington, but Kentucky has kind of dominated in Nashville.
Yeah.
And that's a good omen of the game. And then I kind of want to break up the Louisville game. I'll say this. Louisville had a big game Friday night against Clemson. They let another game slip away. The quarterback play was really, really bad. I feel like, Brad, that Louisville season it's on the brink. It is on the brink. There's a lot of questions about the play calling. There's a lot of questions about their defense. This is a great
I think
time.
there's a lot of distraction. I think Braum is getting a lot of calls.
Yeah, I believe so. And I'll be honest with you, the Vanderbilt game kind of worries me, but the Louisville game, Kentucky's got every opportunity to win that game. And what the last few times they've been in Louisville, they pretty much dominated the Cardinals. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where Kentucky stands in the next 2 weeks. And to me, it's hard to believe that the season's about over, Brad. We only got 2 games left.
Yep.
And you look at early in the year.
And then you hope you get to a bowl game. You have an extra 3 weeks or a month or something to get to a bowl game.
I'm going to say this. I know the fans are listening out there. And somebody mentioned today, said, what if we don't make a bowl? And I'm going to say it from this perspective, Brad. To see what these kids did.
The improvement is there. It's we've already seen it. Like
what these kids did.
You got the core of the young kids like Cam Dooley on defense. You've got you got Cutter. You've got the Miller kid, the 2 Miller kids, DJ and Cam. You've got Jason Patterson. You've got
Grant Gatton.
Yeah. The core is there.
It is.
On this team.
I agree with you. It's there. And I'm going to be honest with you, Brad. I know a lot of fans are kind of stuck on the whole Stoops thing. We've all been there, me and you. And I'll say this. I watched a couple press conferences the last 2 weeks, and I've never seen a man that wants to win worse than what Stoops has or does.
His press conference today was pretty impressive, to be honest.
He just wants help with the NIL. He wants people to kind of give, and he seemed to more openly to the press than he did. In the past, it kind of seems like they was fighting one another a little bit with the media. But lately, it just seems like he's trying to come on their side.
He even joked around with Dick Gabriel today. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah. What I'm saying, I feel like he's coming around to the media now compared to where he was 2 or 3 years ago. Dick Gabriel
asked a question that had already been asked, and Stoops was kind of funny about it. He's like, Dick, did you go to sleep? Did you wake up? Well, I thought it was pretty funny. To be honest, listen, Gabriel, you're the king. I love you. I'm not making fun of you at all, man. Like, for real, you're great.
No,
he may not have been in the room. He may not have sat down. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But it was just funny the way Stoops handled it and everything.
But I just kind of wanted to say that real quick before we move on to basketball, Brad, because I feel like some of the fans kind of on the outs with Stoops, and you've got some that's kind of wanting to push this thing another way back for next year. The improvement that you have seen in the last, 3 weeks, the Auburn win, the Florida win, you had the Tennessee Tech win. These players want to win, and these players want to get to a bowl game, and you're seeing that. And you're seeing
they definitely are striving to get to a bowl game for sure. All right, John, I'm going to mix this up. We're going to get to volleyball. I'm going to do this kind of quickly, but I do want to throw this in the middle of the show. Kentucky volleyball is number 2 in the country. They completely swept through the SEC, who has 2 other top 5 teams, by the way. And both of those games were on the road versus A&M and Texas, and they won both on the road, finished 15-0. They've won 19 straight games. This is their 9th consecutive regular season SEC title.
You want to know something that's crazy to me? Is that Eva Hudson won an SEC title every year she's been here.
Yeah.
That tells me that she's going to go down as one of the all-time greats, all-time legends at UK. This is their 9th straight championship, Brad, the longest consecutive championship streak in Power 4 volleyball. They clinched at least a share of a championship early in that day when they played Arkansas. They're 22-2, 15-0. They're the number 1 overall seed in next week's tournament, which is going to be Friday in Savannah. They get a double bye, and they will – I think they're playing the 8 seed, 9 seed, or 16 seed, depending on who goes. And this is all going to be on the SEC network. So if you have not had an opportunity to watch these girls, you need to sit down Friday if you ain't doing anything and put these girls on and watch them play.
Actually, the tournament starts Friday, but the girls don't play till Sunday.
They don't play till Sunday. That's right. Yep.
They got a double bye. The tournament actually ends up on Tuesday of next week. But this is the first year in 20 years since 2005 that the SEC has had a volleyball tournament. They did away with it for a while.
Brooklyn DeLay was really good. I thought Sunday she had 13 kills on 27 swings. Had Cassie O'Brien. She's 376 hitting.
4 assists.
Kennedy Washington's playing good. Lizzie Carr. If people don't know who Lizzie Carr is, that's Andrew Carr's sister. The
6'6" sister,
former
by the
basketball
way.
player last year. Yeah, she's a tall girl.
Yeah, just a little bit. She plays middle blocker on this team. She's a junior. And
shout out to Asia Thigpen. She was on our show too. She's a big piece of this team. There's a lot of girls on this team that are big pieces to this team, not just Eva Hudson, the normal, the regular ones. They all
Trinity Ward.
They
Trinity
all have
Ward
a part.
her role. Molly.
They all have a part. They all have a part. Is what I'm saying. They all have a part to.
So check them out. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here, but man, this team has a legit shot at winning a national title.
And the only thing that's stepping in their way really is Nebraska.
Yep. Who they took to 5 sets early in the season. Could this team bring home a national title? Craig Skinner, do not count out Craig Skinner as a coach, man.
Craig Skinner is one of the best. I will say it right on this air. He's the best coach in America.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you watch these girls, they get 2 – just to tell you what kind of coach he is, they get 2 challenges a game, okay? If you continue to win your challenges, you get to keep your challenges. So you get to – if you lose a challenge, you lose that challenge. Then you only have 1. If you lose that one, you have none left. Craig Skinner doesn't lose a challenge. He's right every time. Every time. I kid you not. It's insane. It's just wild to watch. Like, he's right every time. And all the announcers talk about it. It's insane. But check out the girls. We are going to switch up. I am going to go to women's basketball, John. Going to go to women's basketball because the women have moved up to number 20 in the poll today. And the women are sitting at 5-5 or 5-0. And number 20 in the AP poll today, and are showing some really good signs. This is 2 years in a row. Kenny Brooks is 5-0 to start the season off with. And, John, this is the early signing period. Madden Greenway officially signed today. Savvy Swords signed last week. Emily McDonald signed last week. And he has a top 3 or 4 class coming in the country.
He does. He's got one of the top classes, like you said, with those girls, Savvy Swords, Matt Greenway, they had the win against Marshall Saturday. It was Saturday, I believe.
It was.
They beat Marshall 76-44.
It was during the football game. I was trying to cover 2 games at once.
4 players finishing double figures. Jordan Obie had 17. Asia Boone had 14. Fire Track had another trump double, 15 and 13. Tiana Key had 10. Tony Morgan had her elite playmaking skills. She had 11 assists. They've had a different score, Brad, in each of its first five games.
They've had a different leading scorer in all 5 games so far. Jordan Obi was the leading scorer last game.
Kind of neat story that most people don't know that the coach for Marshall was the former Transylvania coach, Julie Fulks.
Yeah. And she's put together, like, she's going to have a good team. That was a good team that they played.
That's a good Marshall team. Yep.
Yeah. So a couple of things
kind of got worn down towards the end.
A couple of things. Before we move on to this topic, I want to get your opinion on the recruiting class. The early signing period is this week. Kentucky, John, currently has the best recruiting class in the SEC. Kentucky women's basketball.
That's impressive.
I'm talking better than LSU. I'm talking better than South Carolina, better than Texas. Currently, they have the top class in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive. You know, you got Emily McDonald. She's from Buffalo, New York, ranked 23rd according to ESPN. She played at St. Mary's in Buffalo. She was named 2-time All-Catholic First Team, 2-time All-Western New York, 2-time All-State pick, and received her Most Valuable Player honor in 23 and 24. Then you got down the line, you got Savvy Swords.
I don't know if you guys have noticed the other Sword sister that's playing in Michigan, but she's kind of good.
Yeah, she is. They're from Ontario. They're from Ontario, Canada.
Yeah.
Then you got what's the other girl's name?
Maddie Greenway is electric and can score the ball. She's averaged, John. She's got nearly 4,500 points before her senior year.
You know what's impressive though is I think Kentucky is ranked, what are they, 4th in the country in recruiting on the
class. It's
the top.
I think ESPN has them 4th. Yes, I think.
4th. 1 is USC, 2 is Duke, 3 is Notre Dame, and 4 is Kentucky.
Kentucky. Yeah.
This is a major deal for Kenny Brooks. You get a multi-sport star from Minnesota, Greenway. She can score in bunches.
Oh, man.
I'm talking
She's electric with the ball, man.
Swords is versatile for a forward. She can shoot. She can rebound. McDonald, to me, she's a guard who can create her own shot.
Guard. Yeah.
She can launch it from deep. This is a really good class, Brett. And he's not done yet. This is probably, he's probably going to go through the portal. And he's going to have probably a few girls come back for next year's team. So, I'm telling you, Kenny Brooks is building something next to y'all. And you better take notice.
So, I want to get to this year's team. 5 games in, John. They have a top 6 in the country defensive field goal percentage so far in the entire country.
You told me that.
They are leading
the year that they would probably lead the conference in blocks again.
They are leading the country in blocks per game at 10. The next one is 8.5. Like, they're a pretty good ways away. And Tony Morgan is leading the country in assists.
She's good.
I mean, this girls' team.
Asia Boone's playing really good too.
This girls' team is impressive, John. And Kenny Brooks and this girls' team, this women's team, they have lofty goals.
I'll be honest with you, Brad. I'm kind of disappointed for Perova because she was going to be a big part of this team. I kind of wanted to bring that up a little bit. It kind of makes me feel for her in a way because, you put all your time and effort into this. And
trying to get back.
And trying to get back, it's tough. And
it is.
I'll be honest with you, Brad. She's a leader on that team, and she's going to be a leader on the bench. She's going to be a leader yelling, cheering for a squad. And I think that helps when you have that kind of leadership, even on the bench when you're not playing. I think it helps to have that in the locker room.
I agree with you, John. Clara Strack, of course, has been dominant. Amelia Hassett has really stepped up so far this year. I think in the rebounding department, block shots, she's been doing a lot with on this team so far. And Tony Morgan.
I kind of want to ask you a question. Has the girl from Sweden played much?
No, she has not played yet. There's actually some talk that she might redshirt.
Yeah, I can't remember. Elza Vadfors.
Yeah. She has not played yet. She's like one of there's a couple on the men's side that hasn't played yet, and there's talk of redshirting. Elsa is one of them that might redshirt.
Yeah. Kaylin Carroll, she was the 15th best player in the nation. She's had some nice game action. She hit a 3, I think, the other night. So
Lexi Blue come off the bench in one of the games and just lit it up, 6 threes.
Gilvin, I feel like has played some pretty good.
Yeah,
she hasn't had her big opportunities yet, but she will.
She hadn't had that breakout game yet, but she will.
She will. It's just I think he's just kind of filling out his team right now and trying to figure out what kind of rotations he's going to use. And they play Purdue tomorrow night, in which you're going. So this is a big opportunity for them. It's a blue out for everybody that And the only thing I dislike about this,
it's a blue out tomorrow night. Show up in your blue. And I want to say this: if you are a Kentucky fan, Kenny Brooks knows how important Kentucky basketball is to a Kentucky fan. And I want to say this: he has already announced during the game they will be playing the game at Madison Square Gardens on the big jumbotron for the fans. So there's no excuse that you can't come out and support these women and these girls and show up to Memorial Coliseum tomorrow night, because not only are you going to get to watch the girls play and hopefully beat up on Purdue, you also are going to get to watch Kentucky against Michigan State in Madison Square Gardens on the jumbotron. Pretty good trade, if you ask me.
I'm actually not a real good big fan. Me and you talk about this all the time, where the boys and the girls play at the same time. It's kind of.
I don't like it, but you know what? What I do like is that Kenny Brooks gets it.
He does. He does.
He gets it. He taps in to what Kentucky fans love. He actually himself announced this at the conclusion of his press conference in the Marshall game the other night. So he's got a hand in doing this for the fans because he wants people to support his girls, but he also understands how important Kentucky basketball is to the Big Blue Nation. So I thought it was pretty cool. I had to point that out. I mean, tomorrow night, to be honest with you, John, with Purdue at Kentucky, Purdue is down a little bit.
Yeah, from last year, yep.
Excuse me. They are towards the bottom of the conference. Kentucky really should handle them tomorrow night, as long as there's really no big foul trouble or injuries or, something of that nature. I think Kentucky women should be 6-0 after tomorrow night, to be honest with you. It is a power, conference game, power conference opponent. So it's good for them to get that experience under the belt a little bit before the Puerto Rico Feast Week tournament that they're going to. So just want to put that out and put that in there as well. All right, John. I don't normally end the show with Kentucky basketball, but I felt like there was some pretty big things to talk about with the others. So, John, we're gonna get to Kentucky basketball, and I'm just gonna start it out with this. I mean, we're playing at Madison Square Gardens tomorrow night. It is the Champions Classic. It's one of the biggest games of the year in November every single year. And to be honest with you, Kentucky and Michigan State's record in the Champions Classic is not good.
It's not, neither one of them.
No. I think both of these teams need a win in the Champions Classic.
Well, I'll say this. To me, this is a big game for Mark Pope. They are on the road on a neutral site game, take on a really good, tough-minded Michigan State team, a team that just beat John Calipari in Arkansas. So they're going to be confident coming into this game, Brett. It's one of those things where you get a little confidence, you pick off a couple wins, and you're feeling really good. They're well coached, a lot of veteran players that's been with Tom Izzo for quite a bit. This is not going to be an easy game for Kentucky to walk into Madison Square Garden and win. Tom Izzo is a tough-minded coach. They play defense. They make the game ugly. I'll say this too. Michigan State has not shot the ball well from three this year. They're shooting 21% from three. And you know what that means, Brad? They'll shoot 40 against us. That's always the case, right? You know, they've only had 4 players that have made a three-pointer all year.
Stop.
And I think they only had 1 in the win over Arkansas.
I mean, how do you win a ball game in today's game over Arkansas and John Calipari and hit 1 3-pointer?
It's hard to believe, right?
Did they go to the line 35 times or what?
Who knows? Didn't get to watch a little. I watched parts.
I didn't see any. I was gone, busy. I didn't see it either.
I was actually at the Florida game, and I was trying to keep up with a lot of it. And I kept up with it at halftime a little bit when Kentucky went to halftime. But, you know, Michigan State struggles from three. But like I said, their points are in the paint. They whipped Arkansas in the paint 46-28. Now, Brandon Garrison has had his –
I'm going to tell you right now, Kentucky, listen, Malachi Marino is a freshman. Can he do it? I mean, yes, but can the moment – I mean, playing – even walking in at MSG can be overwhelming as a player.
I'll be honest with you, Brad. If he's struggling, Garrison, I feel like Marino needs to play a good portion of the minutes at the 5. This game is going to be a tall tale on the defense. You know, you got Marino, Mo Diabate, Jelovic. I feel like he's going to have to play a big role. He's playing a little bit better as of recent. You know, we had the big game the other night. I feel like, you know, Jelovic is going to have to be one of those guys that steps up. Listen,
I'm going to be honest with you, John. I think Malachi should be the starter at the 5, even when Jaden Quaintance comes back. I'm not so sure that I wouldn't play Quaintance at the 4.
Yeah, I agree with you there too.
Can you imagine what kind of back line and power that this team could play with if you had Jaden Quaintance and Malachi Marino at the 4 and 5?
The one thing that concerns me about Brandon Garrison, and I love Brandon Garrison. I interviewed him, a week ago. He's a really good guy, good player, well-spoken. The only thing that really concerns me about the kid is his inconsistency in big games. That's it. You know,
I'll say this also. I want to bring this up. Something is going on with Otega Owe. And
I want to ask you about that.
and I'm not trying to make a huge deal out of it, but he's just not playing with the same aggression that he played with last year down the stretch. Do you think he's just not fully healthy yet, or what? Do you think that's what it is?
and he says he's healthy, but the only person that really knows whether they're healthy or not is yourself. And
Yeah.
there can be a lot of questions that go around Ortega, his aggressiveness, his toughness, like, last year he had 2 or 3 games where he just went off. He had 20-something points, 30 points, the Oklahoma games especially.
He was driving the lane and dunking on guys, and I mean,
now it
he
feels
just
like he's driving the lane and he feels like he's getting hurt. He feels like he's going to get hurt.
yeah. I mean,
it just kind of worries me a little bit, but maybe it's just a early on thing where he's just kind of trying to get the nerves out. I'm going to say this about this game, Brett. Michigan State, to me, they like to play slow. Okay, they play half court the offense. Kentucky wants to play a game that goes really fast. You're going to have
I'm going to bet you that Izzo dictates the tempo. What do you want to bet?
Yeah, I said that Kentucky's going to have to speed this game up. If they are able to do this,
I
think
would
it'll
almost
create.
bet you this is going to be a 73-70 game, 75-72 game.
I'll say this too: whichever team has that pace of play will have a big role in deciding who wins this game. If they can, I will say this: Kentucky's got an advantage in the 3-point shooting. Now their 3-point shooting hasn't been great. Now they've had some good games with the cupcakes early. The Valpo, the Eastern Illinois. They struggled with Louisville except down the stretch. They had some shots where they hit. Chandler hit some shots. Denzel Aberdeen hit some shots. This would be a perfect time for them to come on and just start going nuts. They've not had a game where they felt like they can't seem to miss. And for me, this will be a perfect game. I'll say this: if they can beat anywhere close to 40% from 3 against Michigan State, they could blow the Spartans out because they're not dominant. I mean, they got a guy in Jackson Kohler that's pretty good. Cohen Carr's pretty good. Jeremy Fears Jr. is really
that's
good.
going to happen, John, is if we dictate the tempo. And usually in this Champions Classic early on, that's not how – every time we play Michigan State, it's a 68-65 game or a 75-70.
Look at the game last year. Kansas and Michigan State played. Was it the first game? The game was so ugly in the first half. It just felt like nobody could get anything going. The shots was not going down. Michigan State was playing sloppy. Kansas, that's what it's going to be like early on. And I know fans are probably going to be trying to pull their hair out probably in the first half, but that's just how Tom Izzo plays basketball. That's just his mentality. That's his drive. That's what he does.
Absolutely. And that's what I expect tomorrow night in this game, to be honest with you. I think Kentucky's going to have to figure out a way to win a tough game if they're going to get a win.
I'll say this on top of what I was already saying. I wrote an article about this playing Michigan State, but I also brought up the stretch coming up. You got North Carolina, Indiana, but mixed in between Tennessee Tech and Loyola this Friday. Then you play St. John's. No, it's Gonzaga, I think. Gonzaga. Then you play St. John's to kind of end the Christmas holiday, but right before Christmas.
Yay. I said that last year.
And then you have Bellarmine, I think, to end the year.
What
then
a great
you got an Alabama game.
Get to play Patino for Christmas. Yay.
I mean, it is what it is.
Whoever said okay to that.
And I'm going to tell you something. That a loss there, you said it could pay very big dividends.
Yeah, I didn't like it when they announced it, to be honest with you. But they don't pay me to make decisions, so it is what it is.
I'm glad they don't. I'm just
kidding. If they did, I promise you the Jalen Lowe situation would be different. I can promise you 100%. John?
Speaking of Jalen Lowe.
This is exactly was what is currently going on is exactly what my fear was a month ago.
Mhm.
And I said it from the day that it happened. I had been preaching it and preaching it and preaching it. And sure enough, here we are. More than likely, Jalen Lowe is either going to have surgery and end the season, or he's going to have to wait 4 to 6 weeks and then potentially push off the surgery in hopes that it won't do this again so he can play the rest of the season. But at the same time, what that means is it's likely to happen again because really he needs surgery to fix this shoulder.
Yeah, it's not ideal, honestly. And that's where I come in with the whole, why didn't you get a backup point guard in the portal? I know Denzel Aberdeen is a guy that can handle the guard play. I felt like you could at least get another guard to kind of back up low, to kind of slide in there. But now you're going to have to kind of depend on Aberdeen. You know, he had 26 the other night, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and just 1 turnover. I think he played 31 minutes. He hit some big shots. He's a spark. I feel like he belongs on the floor, Brad. And if Lowe cannot play, I think Denzel's good enough to be at this guard position. He's a competitor.
I'll tell you the guy on the team that I like the ball in his hands, and that's Jasper Johnson. I know he's a freshman, but
he's a freshman.
I like the ball in his hands.
I get what you're saying. You know, we don't know how long Lowe's going to be out, Brad, but I feel like Aberdeen, to me, is confident in his abilities to kind of be a proven leader. You know, he was a leader on that Florida team that won a title last year. Whether it's 1 game, whether it's 5 games, I feel like his drop-off will not be invisible. You know, look at the Purdue game. You know, even without Lowe, they dominated a decent Purdue team that's kind of figured things out since then.
Yes, John, but here's my thing. And I'm just going to say it. Was Jalen Lowe's injury mishandled? Because I believe it was.
I mean, I don't know.
I believe it was. So it popped out. They said that he would need, at the very least, he would need 3 to 4 weeks. We put him back on the floor 18 days later.
You know, getting Lowe back is probably what you want. But I feel like, Brad, if this
I'm sorry, John. In reality, and I'm just being dead up straight with the fans, with everybody. You are so much better off. I don't care if we had to wait 5 weeks. Let his shoulder heal. It's November. We don't have to have him the first 3 weeks of the season.
Well, the question is how long is he going to be out? You know, like you said, it's up
I'm not talking about now. Now he might be out for the entire year. I'm talking about letting him heal from the beginning with his shoulder.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm not talking about now. You screwed the pooch now. I mean, honestly.
Well, to be fair, we've had our fair share of snake bit point guards. Severe Wheeler. What's the kid that the Washington kid, not PJ, but the other one.
Yeah. I can't think of it right now, but I know who you're talking about.
He played, I think, on was it Calipari's last year, I think. Ty Washington.
DJ Wagner was hurt half the season.
Devin Askew, I feel like he was a part of that. Emmanuel Quickly, I think, was hurt a couple times late in the year. It just seems like that they're snake bit when it comes to guards. Lamont Butler last year, I mean, Jackson Robinson, that was another one. He suffered a wrist injury in February last year. I mean, we put the blame. I mean, I'm not going to try to say that you blame everybody, but like, where is it just bad luck? Is it not training hard enough? Like, is it? I mean,
something's going on. I mean, I'm just being dead serious. There is something going on where they just can't. Like, you have to start looking at your training. You have to look at the way that you are. You know,
you got to
that
remember
you're preparing, that you're lifting, that you're. I mean, everything that you're doing.
Another key stat to me was how, Butler, before he got hurt, he had played in 104 consecutive games, Brad.
Yeah.
And then he come here and he got snake bit. Kurt Krissa was another one.
Yeah.
He moved on to Cincinnati. I think he's doing pretty good this year, but Robinson missed just one game due to injury during his 2 years at BYU. And then they come here and it's like it's like a curse. I wouldn't say it's a curse, but there's bad juju, bad luck, something.
I mean, I don't know, but you got to change stuff up. And to be quite honest with you, I'm just a little irritated at the way Jalen Lowe was handled, to be honest. Like, I don't agree with it. I said it from the get-go that I wouldn't play him, and I said why. That it's likely to be reintroduced, doing the same thing that we did with Lamont Butler last year. That's the exact same thing. We did it with Butler twice last year.
Then I didn't understand. Listen, when Mark Pope was first hired, not everybody, accepted it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fans that denied it. There's a lot of fans that didn't want it to happen. But then the season came and everything was real great. He brought wins to us. He beat Duke. He beat Tennessee. He's changed the culture at UK. He's done a remarkable job. But sometimes I just can't overlook some of the things that he says sometimes, like the whole Louisville situation before the game. Like, to me, I don't know. I mean, even Dylan Ballard had kind of mentioned that. He had asked him a question about it. Like, what is it, like, to the point to where you can't say
Can't do that. Everybody's going to fill the void. You can't just leave people hanging. They're going to speculate. They're going to make up crap. They're going to create rumors. People are going to fill the void. You can't do that. You're muted.
And I feel like he's done a really good job at this point. Like I said, last year he had the Duke wins, the Tennessee, the Gonzaga. He has another opportunity to do that Tuesday night with Michigan State. They got Gonzaga coming up, St. John's. He has another opportunity to do what he did last year, but with a better team, I feel like. But you got to get the point guard situation figured out at least before January, because that January schedule right out of the gate with Alabama on the road right out of the gate, then you play, I think, Florida 2 or 3 weeks later. You're going to have to figure some things out. If Jalen Lowe is not going to be able to come back and he's going to have season-ending surgery, does he come back next year? Does Denzel Aberdeen keep the role for the whole season? Do we kind of slide in Jasper Johnson at the
we need to slide in Jasper Johnson and keep Aberdeen as the third option there.
Got to shoot, because if you're giving Aberdeen an opportunity to play point, he's not going to shoot it as much as he would as a 2.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I don't know. It's still early in the year, Brad. We're 3-1. We're number 12 in the country. There's a lot worse teams and worse shapes. I feel like, but at the end of the day, there's certain things that you just can't overlook, like the whole Lowell thing. The comments about.
Let me say this about the Louisville game, okay? And I'm not talking about the comments after. I'm just talking about the game itself. Let me start by saying this. First of all, Louisville has some really, really good shooting guards.
Conwell, Michael Brown, they're really good.
Brown, even the Isaac McNeely. Even Isaac McNeely is a good shooter. I mean, they have some really good shooters.
What's the big man in the middle? You said you didn't believe he could move like that.
I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had no idea what. I mean, the kid played 4 years of pro ball overseas. What the hell is he doing?
I want to say this, and most people ain't gonna like this, and that's okay because you can crash me or whatever you want to do. But Pat Kelsey's done a heck of a job at Louisville.
I'll give him that. But I sometimes think that Louisville pushes the envelope. Like picking up kids who play. Listen, Yelovich has played 2 years. Excuse me. Yelovich had played 2 years, but he's a younger guy. He's like 19 or something. That thru kid from Louisville's like 22, 23 years old, played 4 years of professional ball. I mean,
yeah.
I just don't understand how sometimes teams get away with stuff. But beyond that, what I was going to say is this. If Jaden Quaintance is on the floor, that's a different ballgame.
Yeah, it is. I agree. Thru is his name. Sananda Thru, I think. He's from Germany.
Thru was his last name, yeah.
Yeah. I felt like, looking at that whole roster, you got the kid from Kennesaw State, Adrian Woolley, I thought he played good. Khalifa, I thought played good, throwing, making passes.
He's a good passing big man.
Mara kid played some. Kobe Rogers played really well, I thought like. Kayshawn Pryor hardly played at all.
He didn't.
And he was the one talking. He was the one talking before the game.
Yeah. No, but he didn't play. He didn't play much. But no, so Kentucky fell to 12 in the poll. Here's the thing. If this team, John, gets Jaden Quaintance back inside the next month, I'm going to be honest with you.
Whole different team.
I'm hearing rumors, okay, that the goal is somewhere the first half of December.
And then you got fans out here saying he's never going to play. Like, come on now.
Well, no. So I'm hearing that it could be that North Carolina game, December 2nd. It could be the Indiana game, December 13th. But I'm hearing the goal is sometime in early to mid-December is what I'm hearing. Now, if that happens and he gets to come back and stay healthy, okay, and you figure out the point guard situation on this team still has the possibilities to be a top 4, 5, 8 team in the country.
I agree with you.
For sure.
What I don't understand is you got some fans going on like it's a Shaden Sharp deal again. Like
I hate that name. I promise you, you will never hear me say that name on this show ever. Not once.
I'm just telling you.
Hammonds might say it, but I will not say it. That guy never played at Kentucky. I do not count him at Kentucky. He never checked into a ball game. I don't give a shit if he put on a practice jersey or not.
Say your piece.
I don't give two shits. He is not a Kentucky basketball player.
Say your piece, young man.
He's not in the official record book as playing as a Kentucky Wildcat.
Yep. He's not.
Not ever. ever.
But what I'm saying, you've seen it, I've seen it. Some fans are acting that way, but you got to remember the kid is coming off an ACL injury. Like that's
Well,
hard.
no shit. Anybody that can't understand that apparently has never played sports. Just go on and, I don't know, play in the band or do whatever the hell you've been doing because you don't understand sports. I can promise you that.
You had some of the fans talking on our Cutter Bowley piece earlier, being moronic.
I mean, most of these ACL injuries, John, it takes almost a year to come back from.
And like I said, you had the whole Cutter Bowley post that I made, had some fans act a little crazy on it. Get a little,
well, that's just child's play stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
But, I mean, ACL injuries, his surgery was March 19th.
Yep.
Figure that out. That was only 8 months ago.
Takes time. I agree. Good show tonight, Brad, by the way.
All right, guys, we are going to wrap this up. We appreciate you being with us tonight. I can't get this thing to scroll. All right, here we go. Trying to get this thing to scroll a little bit, but it wouldn't do anything. We are going to wrap this up. This has been a Wildcat Weekly show, man. We have got a lot of great stuff and games. We got 2 games tomorrow night to cover, both men's and women's basketball tomorrow night.
And Friday night.
Yep. And then, of course, Saturday, you got Vandy, Kentucky at Vandy. So, and then Sunday, the volleyball is going to take off in the SEC tournament in Savannah, Georgia.
I'll say this.
So,
there'll be a lot of writing between now and the end of
Tennessee is on the side of the bracket with the volleyball. Texas and Texas A&M are on the 2-3 seed lines, and they have to potentially match up to each other on the volleyball. So just hang with us this week. We will have a lot to talk about next Monday night.
And I just got to say something. It's kind of off subject, but my Cowboys might actually win a game tonight. They're up 31-9 on the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Oh, to be fair, the Raiders are pitiful, but we might actually get a win tonight. So kind of feels good to get a win, Brad.
Good grief. All right, guys. We will see you guys hopefully on Thursday night this week for one of our regular shows. So we will see you then. Y'all have a good one. See you next time.
Have a good night.